Hey, what's going on? My name is Dustin. I'm the host of the Detail Spot podcast. This episode, I'm going to talk about something that I think a lot of detailers lack in their business. You know, a lot of detailers, it's a super saturated industry because it doesn't take a lot of money to start. It doesn't take a lot of knowledge to really get your foot in the door, get your feet wet in this trade. So it does become highly saturated. And a lot of detailers wonder why they're not getting leads, why they're not getting, a lot of business, or why they're getting the wrong clients in their business. And this is the one thing that I think a lot of those detailers lack. And it may be something that maybe you could look into your business and see if you lack this as well. So let's go ahead and dive into it. But before we get started, I first want to say thank you so much to all of you guys who have left a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We're now reaching close to 30 reviews on Spotify, and we're coming up on 20 reviews on Apple Podcasts. So I can't thank you guys enough. We haven't been doing this very long, and we are already making a ton of progress when it comes to getting reviews, and that is all due to you guys, and I can't thank you enough. So I really appreciate you. And if you are a regular listener, or if you really get something from this episode and you're enjoying the podcast episodes, if you can take a minute and leave a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify, it's going to greatly help this channel grow, and it's going to get us to that 30 mark on Spotify. And it's going to get us to that 20 mark on Apple Podcasts. So it's greatly appreciated. And if you can, also share it on social media. Share this episode on maybe your stories on Instagram or whatever platform you spend most of your time on. It also helps us reach other detailers so they can get something from it as well. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about something that a lot of detailers lack. A lot of detailers don't realize that this is the missing puzzle piece within their business. And that one thing is, it's kind of broad in a way, but I'm going to go a lot more in depth and tell you some ways that you can tweak your business. But it's all about professionalism, uniformity, branding, and just that overall professionalism within your business. It's something that a lot of detailers lack. It's something that, I would probably say that 75% of detailers that aren't, having those high quality leads coming in, this is the one thing that they may be lacking within their business. And I'm going to go in depth on some things that, some tools that I use in my business and some tools that a lot of detailers are using within their business that make them really stand out above the average. So I'm going to go in depth on those and kind of give you some tricks and tips so that you can, up your game when it comes to being a more professional detailing company. So we talk a lot in other episodes and in the past about how you should strive to be a higher tier detailing company so that you can attract those higher tier detailing clients and those, become a higher tier business. With this higher tier company, you can now target higher end clients, get better leads coming in, get more leads coming in. But to be able to charge that higher price and to get those better leads, your professionalism has to be on point. Professionalism is that total package. It means, how you dress, how you appear online, your website, social media, how you communicate, the uniform that you wear, what is the total perception that client or that potential client gets of you and gets of your business. So if this area is not a huge concern for you, what will happen is you're going to look like the rest. You're going to look like the average. And in an industry as saturated as detailing is, you can't afford to look like the rest and look average. You have to stand out. This would mean you would hardly get any leads. You're not going to get great leads. And if you do get leads at all, they're going to be really low quality leads. And it's going to be leads that you really do not want to build your business on. So now you're thinking, how do I do this? How do I make my business stand out? How do I become a higher tier detailing business? I would personally start with your logo or how you appear online. This is the first place that a customer or a potential lead is going to find you. It's the thing that's building that trust before they actually pick up the phone to call you. It's saying, hey, do I vibe with this business? Do I really trust them with my vehicle before I pick up this phone? Because that's the one place that they're searching. That's one place they're finding. That's one place that they're deciding, hey, if they want to go with you or do they want to go with the guy next door. So we'll start with your logo. If you're looking at your logo and you're saying, man, like really look at it, analyze it and say, does this look better than the rest? Does it look average? Does it look, homemade? If you designed it yourself and look at it and say, I'm not too happy with it, then more than likely it may not be a logo that you want to use for your business. You can use a tool called Fiverr. It's a website. You can go on there. It's super cheap. You can get a professionally designed logo for as low as like $20, $25. The more you pay, obviously you get a better designer, but you can get a professionally made logo for pretty cheap. The goal is to make your logo stand out, look unique, look authentic. You don't want it to look like the other 1,000 detailers that have that same logo. You'll see that a lot of times, the same color schemes, the same logos, they all look generic, they all look the same, and it doesn't stand out. Your clients see that on a regular basis. Because detailing is so saturated, you need your logo to pop. You need it to look different than everybody else's. So really analyze what the detailers that are around your area, look at other detailers within the world and say, hey, what can I do? What type of logo can I do that's going to be different and still look good, still look professional? People who don't know how to clean cars, they hire professionals. They hire us to detail their vehicle. We don't know how to design logos, so hire a professional to create you a logo that you really want to match what brand you want your business to represent. One thing to not do, though, is to look at other detailers within your area and kind of copy them or go get inspired by their logo or get inspired by their brand, because your goal is to separate yourself. Your goal is to look different than the people within your area. So why get inspiration from them when you're trying to do something totally different and look super unique? It's not unique if you're getting inspiration from other detailers within your area, because when a client is going to, search for a detailing service, they're going to say, well, these three guys all look the same. I want something that's unique and different and authentic. So don't get inspiration from guys within your area. Get inspiration from outside of your area. Get inspiration even from other industries, maybe a clothing brand you vibe with, maybe or anything, a salon, a barber, anything that has a cool brand that you really vibe with, that you could get inspiration from. That's totally cool. Just do something that is totally unique to detailing and to your area, because your goal is to stand out and look different. So really keep that in mind. Don't use the same logo. Don't use the same branding as the other guys in your area, or even for that matter, the detailing industry in general. Try to get unique, try to get creative, and get yourself a logo that really stands out and looks unique and matches what you want for your business. Now, the next thing is, let's look at your pictures. How do your pictures appear on your website? If you don't have a website, I would highly recommend getting a website, or some type of visual appearance that you can, display your work online. Social media is a way. Instagram is a great way to show your portfolio, the type of vehicles that you work on, to display your brand. But really look at the pictures that you're taking of these vehicles. Are you just taking bad angles? Look at some media companies, some car media companies. How do they take their pictures? Obviously, they're using a professional camera. You don't need a professional camera to actually take good pictures that are better than the average detailer. Any newer smartphone takes really good pictures, honestly. And if you take the right angle and maybe throw a quick edit on it, and not even the edit, it's all about the angle, really. The edit is just going to set that bar a little bit higher, but make sure that you're getting the full car in there. If you're taking, panel shots, make sure that the angle is right and it looks good. If you have portrait mode, use portrait mode. Almost all the newer iPhones have a portrait mode that you can use. It kind of blurs the background, makes it look like you're using a high quality camera, but really get in depth and think about, taking the picture before just getting and snagging a bunch of pictures. Really look at it and say, hey, man, this angle would look good. So focus on your angles. And then if you do want to throw an edit on, I personally use the Lightroom app, but almost any photo editing app that you can get on your phone is going to have enough for you to edit. All you really have to do is just turn up the clarity, maybe 25% from the starting point, and turn up the contrast, maybe 15 to 25%. And it's going to make that car pop more. It's going to make it look glossier, and it's just going to make it just set that bar bar a little bit higher. But that's an app that, almost any photo editing app is going to have. And that is something that you can do to just really raise the bar a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot more that you can do with color grading and getting into photo editing. But for the simplicity of it, it takes about 5 seconds. Upload your picture to the app, turn up the clarity a little bit, turn up the contrast a little bit, and boom, you did something that the average detailer is not doing. But also focus on the angle that you're taking the picture of the car. Make sure that you get the full car in that picture, or make sure that angle of the panel shots that you're taking. Say you're taking a picture of you're trying to get the logo in there, and you really want that logo to pop. Maybe throw it on portrait mode. But think about these small things. That detail really matters. It separates you from the rest. That's something that, if you look at another social media, detailer social media, because there's a bunch of them. Remember, there's a bunch of detailers out there. It's a highly saturated market. So you can easily find some other detailers on Instagram. Look at how good a good brand looks, like how good their pictures are, and then look at like an average or below average detailing company and look at it and say, man, it's probably the pictures is all they're lacking. Like good pictures, good quality pictures, taking the time to, really hone in on the angle that they're taking them, or the edit or the lighting, and just play with it a little bit. Take 10 minutes to play with, taking pictures with your phone and maybe editing them. But that matters so much to the client that is looking to use your services or looking for detailing services in general. And it's a huge deciding factor on whether they choose you or another detailer within your area. I've had multiple people say, I really just love the pictures, and that was the trust that was built right off the bat. I love the pictures that you took and displayed, and that was the deciding factor. So pictures are massive. That is one of the biggest things when it comes to your branding and your social media presence, is how well and how much time and effort you put into, taking the picture of a car that you just detailed and uploading it. And, as I mentioned, you don't need a fancy camera. You don't need to, you don't need to learn how to use a $1,000 plus camera. The phone that you use to answer calls and text clients is the same tool that you can take these pictures with. I'm trying to give you some really cheap and on the go, quick, easy, because you do still have a business to run. You still have to, maybe detail that vehicle. So you don't want to take a ton of time learning how to use, these high expensive, high quality cameras. And when you have a phone at your fingertips, and it just all comes down to how you use it. If you want to be higher tier detailing business, you're going to have to put a little bit of effort into learning, how to take good pictures with your smartphone, or, learning the angles that you want to take of that vehicle. So if you want to be higher tier, it does take a little bit more effort in certain areas. So if you are just taking a picture to take it and check that off of your to-do list, that you need to take pictures of cars, but you're not putting a lot of time into, taking a good picture. That could be the one thing that separates you from, getting some better clients. And these are not that, it's not just going to take that one thing. Obviously, it's going to be a combined total of your logo, your website, your pictures, your color scheme, the brand, your branding all together, how you present yourself, how you communicate to clients. All of those add up. That is the package deal. But this is one little, step on that ladder to having that total package and that great professionalism. So, but pictures are huge in my opinion. We are coming up on the end of our founding member stage of joining the detail community. This is going to be our last week. I'm going to extend it this one more week, and then next week it's going to go to the new pricing. But right now you can become a founding member of the detail community for only $27 a month, and you get your first 30 days for only $1. It's never going to be at that price again. This is for founding members only. You're going to get access to everything that is there now and everything that is added in the future. So you get all inclusive, you're grandfathered in, exclusive access to everything that's there. That includes business classes. There's over 50 business classes. on, tools, strategies, and systems to get more money and get your business making more money. So it's going to show you click by click how to do everything when it comes to marketing systems, strategies, sales, everything, some of the systems and strategies that the top detailers within the world are using. And then also you get exclusive podcast episodes, get access to that. You get access to a community forums area to where you can connect with other detailers and get support every step of the way from other detailers that are already inside. You also get access to pre-made promotional templates where you don't have to spend a ton of money for a graphic designer to design you promotion templates to post on social media or to send to your clients. These are going to be pre-made, specifically designed for detailers, and they're added regularly. So you get access to all that plus so much more and a lot more to come down the pipeline. So go ahead and get your founding member rate of only $27 a month and get all exclusive access to everything that's there now and everything that's added in the future. The best way to look at this is if only one thing, there's going to be multiple things that resonate with you, but only if one thing, you get one thing from this, it's going to bring more money, and say one lead you get from what's taught inside the detail community, your membership is paid for a long time. So $27 a month that teaches you how to get more leads, how to grow a better business and level up your business is well worth it. So go to thedetailcommunity.com/join, or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, the link will be in the show notes, or if you're watching on YouTube, the link will be in this description. I can't wait to see you guys inside and connect with you further. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, and it's probably the most important thing, and I have seen and talked to a lot of detailers that may lack this. They may lack this part of that professionalism package, and it's how they communicate, how they talk to the client. If they are talking not like a subject matter expert, a lot of times that client is kind of they're kind of turned off by it, and they don't want to book with them anymore. They want to go to somebody who knows what they're talking about, sounds like an expert. A good example of how to communicate, how to present yourself as a business and as a business owner and as a subject matter expert is look at Discount Tire. That's like I put them on a pedestal when it comes to how their technicians sound, talk, their systems that they have in place. As soon as you walk in that door, they have a guy that's talking with you. You know exactly where to go, how to do it, how the process goes. And if you have questions, they answer those questions. Meanwhile, they're upselling you as well. All of their system is just, they sound so personable. It just sounds perfect when it comes to a professional business. And there's plenty of other businesses out there, Chick-fil-A, just some top tier businesses that when you think, what's the first business that comes to your mind when it's like, man, their customer service is on point, they're professional. Use them as inspiration when it comes to your process and how you communicate with a client, because that is so important. How you communicate, the questions that you ask, how professional do you sound? Do you sound like an expert over the phone when they're inquiring? Are you asking questions? Because you may think that asking questions is an inconvenience to that client, but realistically, when you ask questions, they're like, man, this guy's really concerned about what do I want? What are my concerns as the client? They're asking these questions. So it's super important. That communication process is so important when it comes to the type of clients you get in, the type of referrals. Are clients willing to refer you to their friends and family? That is what it comes down to, is how do you sound when you're talking to that client, and are you getting the right information from them, and do you sound like a subject matter expert? Because here's the thing, that customer, that client wants to know that you as the detailer are a professional and that their vehicle is in good hands. They want to know that when they drop off their vehicle, or if you show up to their vehicle, that they chose the right detailer, that their vehicle is in good hands. They don't have to worry. That peace of mind is what they're searching for. And that is a huge determining factor on whether they even book with you, or if they have that warm and fuzzy feeling while you're working on their vehicle. And I know I mentioned Discount Tire. You do not have to go exactly by Discount Tire, but that was just an example of great customer service, great customer communication, they ask the right questions. They are the subject matter expert. And also the uniformity, how they all wear uniforms. That is huge. It's a subconscious thing when a client sees you that you have your logo on your shirt, or, some type of uniform that when they look at you, they're like, man, this guy is, or these people are professional. They even went that extra mile to look the part. That's huge. That is a huge professionalism factor, and just a big part of that professionalism package that you need to have to look better than the average. Remember, our goal is to look better than the average detailer. And do you think the average detailer is wearing uniforms? Are they sounding professional? Do they have a good logo? Do they have good pictures on their website or social media? Those things are so massive when it comes to getting more leads, getting clients coming in. Obviously, it's not going to be you change everything today and tomorrow you're just going to instantly have leads coming in and the best quality clients. Obviously, there's a lot more when it comes to business and a lot more when it comes to running your detailing business. But this is a great first step. And honestly, you will see progress from changing these things up and looking the part and sounding the part. You're going to see better clients long term. And that's what this is all about, honestly, is long-term success and how to grow a great detailing business. Even if it takes a year, 6 months, 2 years, whatever, how many ever timeline there is, you're going to thank yourself that you changed these things and that you went that extra mile, because that's what it's all about, is going that extra mile. I was talking about the pictures earlier and, doing something that they're not, taking that extra step to learn how to take a better picture. It's all about going that extra mile and doing the things that the other detailers are not doing. So I see all the time, hey, it's been so slow for me the past year. I don't know what to do. Where do I need to go to get clients? And there are strategies, there are systems that you can learn to get clients quicker. There are those things, but this foundation right there, that professionalism, has to be there first before you can start implementing those tools and those quick get leads quick tips and tricks. All those things do work, but this foundation of professionalism has to be there. That uniformity, that your branding, how you communicate, all those things. That's that package deal that has to be built first before any of those systems and tricks work. You could go try those tips and maybe you figure out a lead generation tip that you want to try. You could try that, but without this professionalism package being there, they may click on whatever you're sending them or whatever type of system that you did or tip that you tried. But when they click on it and they see that, or they call you and you just don't sound professional, or if they click on your social media profile and they're like, this I don't like this, I don't vibe with this doesn't look any better than what the average is, they're not going to choose you. So those lead generation tips and all these strategies and systems that are out there to get leads coming in, none of those work unless you have this foundation, unless you have that professionalism, and unless you have that foundation of the uniformity, the communication, the how you take pictures, how does your website look, how does your branding, all of those things, so massive on whether what you try after that works or not. So that pretty much sums up this episode of the Detail Spot podcast. Hopefully it resonates with you. Maybe it makes you want to take a look at your brand, take a look at how you present a client and what the perception is that they get of you when they inquire or when they're looking for a detailing service within your area. And maybe it's something that you want to really think about. Maybe it's something that you want to change within your business. It's something that I personally, when I first started, had problems with as well. My logo was not good. I thought I needed to go with the logo that every other detailer had because, they're in business. Obviously, that logo worked. It doesn't. That was something that took me a while. It took me like a year to, change around and figure things out. But I just wanted to relay it to you because that's one thing that maybe you're not looking at. Maybe you're not looking under that rock and saying, man, that's where I messed up. That's where I need to start pivoting and changing within my business, because that was something that it took me a while to learn. And it's something that took me a while for that light bulb to go off and say, that was it. That was the one thing that I changed that, kind of started pivoting my business towards the right direction. Obviously, there's a bunch of things that are in that box of, things that you need to change as you go through business. But this is one step that you can take. And I promise you, once you start looking better than the average, and once you start looking, high tier and high quality, and you give that client the warm and fuzzy before they even pick up the phone to book with you, that is going to be a huge, it's going to transform your business long term, and it builds a great foundation for your business. So, I hope you got something from this. And if you haven't already, and if you did get something from this and you haven't already, left a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, if you can, do me a favor. That's going to greatly help me out, greatly help the channel grow. And I just appreciate all of you guys. The feedback you've been giving me has been huge. It's what keeps me going, honestly. And as always, if you guys ever need anything, always feel free to shoot me a message on social media. I'll definitely answer it. If you have any feedback, or if you have any questions at all, definitely shoot me a message. And I'll catch you on the next episode of the Detail Spot Podcast.